Lord have mercy. All right, let's get ready for a show. I'm feeling really, really good. I had a good day today. We did a video earlier today, and you guys, I mean, y'all watched the video, y'all left comments. I really love it. I think like when y'all don't call in, y'all comment more, which is a good thing. So I'm happy. I woke up and I'm like, getting comments, getting emails, and saying that they love and enjoy the show. And we did a lot of covering on a lot of shows. So I definitely want to talk about, we definitely going to get right into the topics. I want to dive into Escape. Can we do that for a second? Escape was nominated for an award. I don't know if they was. I think they're being honored at the Soul Train Awards. Don't nobody really watch the Soul Train Awards anymore. But it was some controversy with Escape because apparently one of the artists did not have the same look. Everybody else was pretty much have like this silver dress, and she show up in a green dress, and it was a lot of drama all over social media with the Escape attire. And so let me see if I can pull up. Give me a second, and they look good, by the way. I didn't see the problem, but obviously it was some drama that was going on. They were saying that they wasn't in the right that sis wasn't in the right attire. So let me see if I can pull up, because Candy responded to this picture, and let me see if I can pull it up. And it's probably gonna be real small because I screenshotted it. So let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. It looked beautiful, by the way. They look really, really beautiful, by the way. And Candy responded. So let me pull up that tweet, because Candy responded to the picture because people was like, "What's going on?" Um, okay, here we go. So y'all probably won't be able to read it, but I'm going to read it on my phone. But I just want to pull it up on the screen so you all can see it. Okay, here we go. Now, because the words are really, really small, so I'm going to read it. It's like really, really small. So a viewer, a fan, said this. She said um, maybe she didn't know the dress code for what the other ladies planned on wearing. Maybe maybe she honestly didn't know. Did you all think of that? And she is not required to dress like the other ladies. None of them had to dress similar. This is a celebration of Escape as artists, their longevity, and their incredible music, not about how they dress. So she responded. She responded with "Thank you because they didn't tell me anything. It's more to this than people know." Candy responded, "The only thing for people to know is that you chose to have a separate stylist from the rest of the group. You chose to separate yourself. Do not blame us for that. Stop continuing to put out false narratives." So that's what Candy wrote to respond to her fellow bandmate. And I feel like this: you too old to be beefing. I'm gonna say this. Once you get 40 in your 50s, all this drama, you want to leave the group, you separate from the group, you want to get a separate stylist, that's childish. I can understand if you are in your 20s and you act like that. But once you get at a certain age, if the rest of the group got a stylist, get the same stylist so y'all can all look like. This whole thing looking different from the group or trying to leave the group, trying to separate from the group, it's just petty business. Y'all at a certain age where y'all supposed to be leaving an example for the younger R&B artists, and y'all acting and bickering over this is really sad. And y'all at a certain age, I think they're in their 50s. If I'm not mistaken, would they be in their 50s or 40s? How old is Candy? Let me see how old is Candy. Candy Birds. Let me see how old but hold that. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Yeah, they 46. Oh yeah, they like come on now. 46 years old. Like y'all almost 50. Ain't you in your 40s you acting like this? You 46. Like I just don't get it. 46. Candy, you was born on May 17, 1976. So y'all shouldn't be acting like this. And I'm not trying to come at Candy hard, but come on now. Y'all acting like this. That night between the escape is the celebration of music. It's the celebration of music where y'all supposed to celebrate y'all being in the music business for over 30 years, celebrating sis in this green outfit. It's beautiful. But I'm not understanding she trying to act like she's the lead singer just because she can hit high notes. It did not work for you, sis. Your career as a solo artist didn't work. So you trying to separate and try to pretend like you the David Ruffin of the group is just really petty. So I personally hope that the escape can get it together because I would love to go to their concerts. Every man love one. I would love to go to one of their concerts. But I just can't deal with the beef. Okay. So maybe they got a show because I'm hearing from the grapevine. They got a show that's coming out, and Candy is really good with the beef and the drama. Well, girl, act like you leaving the group, and I don't really want to talk too much about Candy because y'all know she's the sister. She breaks down in tears, she cry, and ain't nobody got time for. Oh, you don't understand. I was in this group, and you had the outfit, and you wanted your own stylist. And see, this is why she gets to her tears and her crying and stuff. It's just ridiculous. But y'all is almost 50 years old, and that's supposed to come with wisdom, right? 46 years old, that's supposed to come with some wisdom. And I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to come at her and be negative, but when you reach 46, wisdom's supposed to be there. Okay? But she looks good. So we definitely want to give them a special shout out. They are good artists. I love them. I think they are incredible artists. I think they are incredible people, and it's definitely great. And something else that I want to, Chrisean and Blueface, I want to bring them up really quickly. I got to bring them up because I saw a post that really went viral. I don't know if I can find that post. I don't know if I shared it, but I can summarize to tell you what the post said on Facebook. And it had something to do with Chris Brown. They said Chris Brown beat on Rihanna about 6 or 7 years ago, and y'all still hold him accountable for that, still counsel him for that. But Blueface and Chrisean can definitely fight each other every 5 minutes, and y'all make excuses and give them a show. And I'm like, that is such a good point because when Chris Brown, when he mollywopped, Rihanna and bruised up her face, it pretty much destroyed his career almost. He's supposed to be like the next Michael Jackson, even though he's still a huge artist, but he's nowhere near. He would have been bigger if he did not get into that altercation with Rihanna and bruise up her face. But when it comes to with these two, which I love them, by the way, I love this couple. They're my favorite couple. But they fight every 5 minutes. She don't press charges, and she cream on him. He eats her out on Instagram, and y'all award this relationship, even though I love the relationship. But the general public rewarded. Blueface have not been canceled, nor have Chrisean, everything like that. Blueface was a talented rapper. I think Tatiana Busted Down. I think that was one of the records that he released, and all of that type of stuff. So and one of her tooth or is missing. Like she like right. I don't know if y'all can see it. One of her tooth, you can see right in there. It's like a gap in her mouth. It's missing because this chick got his picture tatted on her tooth, and every 3 minutes she taking out her tooth. Like this is something. One day she's gonna wake up and change one day. Even though I love the relationship, I love the toxic relationship, but one of them eventually gonna die, from it. It's just it is what it is. If they keep doing this toxic energy, being on each other, one of them is gonna take it too far, and they're gonna end up dead. One of them. And it may be Chrisean, and then it's going to be like rest in peace to Chrisean and all of that. Then people are going to say, "Oh, I loved her. I was such a fan," but that eventually going to happen because with that drama and fighting and beating, somebody's going to lose. Somebody's going to lose their life. And this is just me being honest and me giving my opinion because a lot of people in the chat, follow them. I follow them personally. I was watching the live when he was eating out Chrisean box. It turned me on seeing it when she was live on Instagram. So I'm attracted to the couple, but I know eventually this toxic relationship is going to end in a negative way. I'm attracted to it, and I know people say stop speaking like that, but no, if you keep getting an abusive relationship, somebody's going to end up dead. I remember my good friend Jonathan. His sister was in an abusive relationship, and she left. She kept going back, but this last time he beat her so bad that she died. He killed her, and now her children is now orphans. They're in the system because both the dad is in prison for the rest of his life, the mother is dead, and she was leaving the relationship. Then she would get back in a relationship. She would leave the relationship, get back in a relationship, and she's no longer living. It was such it destroyed Jonathan's life because he got hooked on drugs, and now he's a drug addict out on the street selling his body for the next rock he can smoke, and in and out of jail. And it hurt his feelings that his sister died the way she was murdered, and it destroyed him physically and mentally. And he got hooked on crystal meth, and now he's on the street selling his body or whatever he can get a hot meal and whatever he can sell his badissi. And so I can say this from experience that if you continue to be in an abusive, relationship, your life can end up you can end up dead. And I'm just being honest because the last time I saw Jonathan, he looked at dirty, he didn't bathe, he was high off the crystal meth, and this was a guy that you know will save thousands of dollars. He would have checks he forget to cash because he was so good with money, and now he can't even. Now he have money he can't even. I mean, buy a toothbrush. And it's really 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 sad that yeah he's going through this, but a big part of it was his sister was murdered and it destroyed his life because he didn't get counseling for it, so he went to the drugs, and the drugs destroy like literally brought him down to a piece of bread, and that's what I said. And so I saw his skin is not the same, got dark, got sores, brought him down to a piece of bread, and it's really sad. It's very unfortunate, and this is something that you have to, you know, be strong and get counseling when you're dealing with a person like that. So that's pretty much what happened, and I don't want to see this happen to Chrisean or to Blueface because I love them both. But hopefully they can get it together. But they have a show on Zeus. I have not even. I'm going to subscribe just to watch the show because I'm a fan of Blueface and Chrisean. I'm a fan of both of them. I think both of them are entertaining. But would I want my sister to be in a relationship with a guy that beat her every 3 minutes and she's showing up bloody and crying and all of that? No, I don't want to see my sister getting her getting all mollywopped and bopped all over her face and getting her tooth knocked out. I don't want to see that. for my family, but I think that it's entertaining that just to see this through Chrisean and through Blueface. I love toxic energy. I've always been attracted to toxic energy. I've been attracted to toxic dudes, toxic women. I've always been attracted to that, toxic energy. I don't know why that I've been attracted to that toxic energy, but I've always been attracted to the thugs, to the gangbangers, to the, what I'm saying, to women that are in gangs and women that rob people and carjack cars. I've always been attracted to those type of people. I don't know why, but I've always been attracted to that. It's just something. It just does something to me. It just really, really does something to me. Now I haven't been in. I've been in a one toxic relationship, but it's been a long time ago. I wanted it to be toxic. I remember one time I was dating John Tay. His name was John Tay, and I told him that I was sleeping. I told him that I cheated on him with a lot of men, and he came to my house. He wanted to beat me up. He wanted to, and I loved it. I was laughing. I just love that toxic energy. I wanted him to, come upstairs and fight me, and we just have mad passionate, sex. And so I was like, I I remember that I was in a really, really toxic um relationship. It is what it is. I've always been attracted to toxic things. So hopefully I think I've gotten better because it's been a long time since I've been in a toxic relationship, a toxic situation. And yeah, that's just what it is. I hopefully I've doing it. But um now my women that I have to get is very submissive, and they have to be very submissive. They can't talk back. When I walk in the room, they have to stand up. And I remember I told this woman that I was talking to, she did not stand up when I walked in the room, and I ended the relationship because when I walk in the room, it's like you're seeing the president. So when you see the president walking in the room, you stand up. And then when I give the word and say "as you were," then you continue to do your duties. So she did not stand up when I walked in the room and say, I have to have a woman. When I come in the room, you must stand. And when you're cooking the food, I don't care. The children don't eat first. The king, which is me, eat first. And so that's what it is. I eat first. I don't care if the kids is crying. You must feed the king first because I'm the head of the household. Okay. If it wasn't for me, it wouldn't be any food on the table. So you must feed me first. So but yeah, that's how it comes about when I come in the room, you must stand. And so that's just how relationship I'm in. If I, and how the situation, and I know a lot of people get upset about that. They don't understand it, but that's just how I am, and those are my rules. And if you don't want to comply with my rules, you can go and date somebody else. But those are my rules. All right. So that was the thing about the whole thing with Chrisean and Blueface that I wanted to bring up. Let me see who else that I wanted to talk about that I had on the docket here that I definitely want to bring up. Do I have their picture? I'm trying to find and see if I have their picture. I'm trying to get back to posting a picture or stuff like that, but I just rushed to get here. So I don't know if I have her picture or not. Okay, I do. So Megan Thee Stallion, and y'all already know Tory Lanez, he's on house arrest because he broke the law. I think he beat up somebody, so they put him on house arrest. And he can't get off house arrest until after the trial with this woman. So, but Megan Thee Stallion today, she got a legal win today. Megan Thee Stallion got a legal win. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. So Megan Thee Stallion, give me a second. Let me show it to y'all. She got a legal win today. Okay. So Megan Thee Stallion on TMZ said Megan Thee Stallion isn't letting anyone screw up her shot at the American Music Award, not even her own label. A Texas judge is backing her up by granting a restraining order. Meghan filed legal documents to get the restraining order against her label, 1501 Certified Entertainment, and her distributor, 300 Entertainment. According to the docs obtained by TMZ Hip Hop, Meghan claimed 1501 made threatening moves to block Meghan from using her own music in connection with the AMAs, which will be handed out this which will be handed out this coming Sunday. Of course, Meghan been battling 1501 on a bunch of fronts. Most notably, they're in a legal war over her contract. As we reported, Meghan believes she satisfied the term and should be a free agent, but 1501 insisted she owes more recordings. She doesn't specify what 1501 and or 300 Entertainment allegedly said or did to mess with the AMA broadcast on ABC, but a judge heard enough to grant the temporary restraining order. Both companies are now blocked from interfering with her music being used on the award show. Meghan is up for favorite female hip hop artist. Voting for the award ends tonight. It is interesting that it's a court hearing scheduled where the label will have a chance to tell their side of the story. Of course, the date is next Tuesday, 2 days after the AMAs would have aired. Even the lawyers have to admit that seems like a huge waste of time. And I want to say this. I feel like, you know, when you're dealing with smaller labels and you get picked by Jay-Z, you get other people in your ear. I think that 1501 is trying to keep Meghan alone because she's one of the biggest artists on 1501. This chick right here. It's her accomplishments that Carl Crawford got in his bio is her accomplishment, her platinum records and all of that. Erica Banks is nowhere near the success of Megan Thee Stallion. So Megan Thee Stallion pretty much put 1501 on the map, but they can't duplicate. They tried to do it with Erica Banks. They got her a boob job. She's still rapping the same and still eating fried chicken and baby back ribs and Buffalo Wild Wings. She got dumped by her man. So they trying everything way with that. Okay. Okay. Excuse me, Sherelle's World. I don't know if that's the real Sherelle's World right there. Excuse me, Sherelle's World. Nobody brought your name up, sweetie. And so that's the thing about Megan Thee Stallion. Let's get to Sherelle's World. Sherelle's World. I didn't bring your name up. Okay. Haven't done anything. Excuse me, Sherelle's World. Sweetheart. Nobody brought up your man. Did nobody bring you up? Okay. Okay. I don't know if this the real Sherelle's World. I didn't bring you up. I didn't bring your man up. What I said when I walk in the room, my wife gonna stand up. And that's what I said. Nothing towards you and your husband. Okay. I don't know if you try to get into beef with me or something. I don't know. But I'm a single man. You a married woman. So my best advice to you is you shouldn't be trying. I don't know if it's a fake account. I don't know if it's a fake account. But my best advice to you is you shouldn't be trying to have a conversation with the Wiley Show and you a married woman, okay? You got a whole man in there now. You got a whole man. Worry about your man. Don't be trying to come over here. I don't know if that's a fake account or a real account or whatever. But I'm just going to tell you right there, Sherelle's World, you have a good time with your husband, all right? I don't know if that's a real Sherelle's World or not, or a fake account. I don't know. Maybe it's her. Maybe it's Mr. Perry. I don't know. But I'm here. I'm ready for it. I don't know if that's the real Sherelle's World or the real Mr. Perry. Okay? Okay? Okay. I don't know. But all I see is Sherelle's World, and she got to clean that up. Okay? If it's a fake account or not. Okay, they said the real Sherelle's World have a check mark because I know I didn't say that about no Sherelle's World. I'm like, where that come from? Because I didn't say that about Sherelle's World. We was talking about Megan Thee Stallion. We were talking about Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, put that account in timeout. If that's the fake Sherelle's World, just put it in timeout. Okay, I don't know if that's the real one or not. Anyway, back to Megan Thee Stallion. And I say this humbly, Megan Thee Stallion built 1501. And I want to say this, and Erica Banks, please don't block me because we've been in a communication for a couple of months to get you on the show. So don't block me and don't cease communication. but Erica Banks couldn't compete with Megan Thee Stallion. They tried their best, and this is, I think Erica would have had a better career if she was on a better label. But because Carl Crawford is so obsessed with Megan, he couldn't focus on Erica Banks. And so if Erica Banks was on another label, I believe she would have been a better off artist. And this is very unfortunate because now this woman, all she does, and I sent an email and I said, no offense, Erica, but you need to do more press. You're acting like you are above uh, this, but you need more press. Like you need a good sit down interview that's going to ask you these good questions. Okay. Carl, I hope I'm saying his name right. Mr. Carl, you need a better interview. And I personally feel like you should do a sit down interview. So we've been in communications. We're going to try to get her on the show. But I feel it's a disservice. And I kind of cried yesterday. Because I'm like, Erica, nobody's really talking about Erica Banks anymore. Like people have dropped her. They're not playing Busted anymore. They're not playing Roll That Nigga Up anymore. They're not playing any of her records, anymore. Nobody's really been talking about Erica Banks. The last time Erica Banks was talked about is when she said she don't want no skinny women in her VIP suite. And that was like the last time, but nobody ever talk about Erica Banks anymore. It's all about Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Thee Stallion. Okay? Okay? Excuse me, Nosy. Let me tell you something, Nosy. I don't know if this is another troll account, but you said, "Hey, Wiley, I'm here to mediate. Sherelle is being impersonated and troll. Are you doing this? And if so, please stop because it's creepy." First of all, I'm not doing this, Nosy. And second of all, when you come into this thing, you call me Mr. Wiley. That's number one. Okay? I don't know if that's the real. I don't know if these people getting trolled. I don't know what it is tonight, but you can't tell me what to do because you got a whole lawsuit with Nicki Minaj. Okay? Oh, is that a fake account? Is that a fake account? Because I'm ready to read. Y'all better tell me right. Y'all better. Is that a fake account? Okay, I was ready. I was ready to read. All right. Okay, let me block these trolls. Okay, because I'm ready to read. All right, because I'm this close to ready to read. Fake account or real account? Somebody go get dragged. Okay, so y'all better tell me right now. Is it fake? Because I'm ready to read. Okay, they said it's fake. So make sure y'all put that account in timeout and block them or something like that. Or you can keep it in the account. I don't care. Okay. And so that's what I want to say to Tory Lanez and to Megan Thee Stallion. And I want to say to Tory is very talented. And I heard he got some good ping. But my thing is this, Tory Lanez, your attitude and your aggressiveness is going to keep you at the bottom. And I do believe this, that you are going to serve some time for what you did to Megan Thee Stallion. It's definitely going to happen. You should have took a deal. I feel it in my gut. You are guilty. And I'm glad that you on house arrest. That's money that you're missing because yet you still got this aggressive attitude, this want to be a bully and all of this way. And I stand by my sister Megan Thee Stallion. And like I told this lady today, I was at Walmart and I was buying some fruits and vegetables. And this lady was like, I don't believe Megan Thee Stallion. She was talking to one of her good girlfriends. And they were talking about Megan Thee Stallion this way. And I tapped her on the shoulders and said, number one, you a black woman. That woman was definitely, she was attacked and she was shot. And I hope that if somebody were to shoot you in your foot, that you would want black men to stand up for you like I'm standing up for Megan Thee Stallion. She is not lying. Megan Thee Stallion was shot by Tory Lanez, and we must stand by her. And she got, the lady got kind of mad at me. Someone, why? Nah, don't worry. I can say what I want to say, but I had to say what I had to say. Okay. And I tapped on the shoulder and we had a whole little debate up in there. And she said a couple of little nasty little words. I can't repeat it on the show, but I said what I said to her as well. And stuff like that. So of course, that's what happened. So we definitely was having that conversation. Now back to Meghan. I love Meghan. I believe in her, and it's so sad that people like Milagro Grams, a black woman that is married to a black man that's on food stamps, um, did not believe Megan Thee Stallion. And this is the same black woman. And I told you she's a very toxic black woman because not only did she don't believe Megan, she believed Kaylin Walker. And Kaylin Walker was guilty. And she talking about all the women that was coming at Kaylin Walker. Milagro Grams, aka Mob Radio, said, listen, I don't believe in women. No women is lying. And she took up for it. And I said, this woman is so toxic. And all she does is lift up on the government and take cash apps and cash apps from our audience. And so she don't take an income from YouTube because she got to report it to the government. But yet she's trying to come at her way to come at, Megan Thee Stallion, in which I don't understand it. And this woman did all this because she took Tory Lane's side. Right there. Tory Lane's side. And Tory Lanez promised her a podcast and peen. He promised her a podcast and peen. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a lot of trolls today, and they even got the. Let me block this Jaguar right one. Sorry, y'all ain't gonna get me today. Okay. Podcast and peen. And so he didn't get the podcast. And I told Milagro Grams, I told on the phone, and I said, listen, if you sleep with Tory Lanez, it's not going to end up right for you. It's not. So my best advice is to cut that off. Because if you say you really got a man at home that you love and support, I think once you sleep with Tory Lanez, you're going to want to dump your man because all your man does is work at Walmart and Target. So you don't want to do that. So we had that conversation. Of course, she hung up the phone and she said, call me a couple of B's, and it's okay. She said what she had to say. But we went on today. Okay, now that was that. All right. Let's go ahead on. Okay. She wanted some podcasts and peen. And that's what it was. And ever since he whispered in her ear, got on the phone with her, got her all wet and hot and bothered, Milagro Grams has been targeting Megan Thee Stallion, has been targeting her, trashing her, even to the point that Milagro Grams even went on a civil rights worker that's on the front lines. Okay? That's on the front lines. Tamika Mallory. That's on the front lines on civil rights. She marched. She go to jail for her people. She donate to the cause. Milagro Grams got on there and tried to cuss the lady out. And then cuss the lady out on her platform. And this woman is on the front lines working for the betterment of African-American people. But Milagro Grams, because Tory Lanez promised her a podcast and peen, she have always been on the side of destroying this black woman. And it's really sad because there's plenty peen out there, but you ain't got to take a toxic man that shot another woman. But you get them kind of chicks. They don't care. As long as they get their rocks off, they'll throw that sister on the bus, and it's really unfortunate. But let me tell you, I'm a fan of Milagro Grams, but I wasn't a fan of how she tried to destroy Megan Thee Stallion. Okay? And I love Megan Thee Stallion. And I support her. And I've lost many people that said that she lied. And I say, y'all going to be on the wrong side of history, just like y'all was on the wrong side of history when it came to Kaylin Walker. Okay? Thank y'all so very much over that. All right. Okay. Thank y'all so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So my last topic that I'm going to talk about today is Dr. Umar and Storm Monroe. So I was sitting down minding my own business, like I always do. I don't mind nobody business but my own. And I got an alert, and it said that Storm Monroe is going to interview Dr. Umar Johnson. So it opened up where they were talking about African spirituality. It opened up about his African name. It opened up about him and his ancestors and about the African leadership. Okay. Then they were talking about, about why black women are single and they wait too long to get a man. But mind you, Dr. Umar got children that he's on child support for. Storm Monroe didn't ask that question. Dr. Umar got caught sleeping with a stripper and not sleeping with not getting married, right? He's still not married. He still haven't made a black woman his queen. Okay. Then he tells Storm that he don't deal with the snow bunnies. So they having all these conversations about that, okay? Then they having the conversation about the school. So what is the update about the school? So Dr. Umar, when you're dealing with a masterful liar, a liar is going to over-explain instead of answering a very direct question. So this liar, Dr. Umar, said, well, the school was going to open up on the next Turner anniversary, and then we had with the school, and then our brother hit me up. We was going to get a school in Virginia, but the school have been sold because people have been calling the school and calling the auction company, and they said he's nothing but a fraud. He's nothing but this, and then I lost that opportunity, and then we raised some money, and then I was driving, and then we saw another location. We saw 2 buildings, and then I was going to get a school in Chicago, but the schools they were showing me in Chicago was run down, and then one without no roof and all of that. And then then I get the 2 buildings, right? I got the 2 buildings, but we ran into a problem, Brother Storm. The black contractors scammed me out the money. The black contractors didn't do a good job. Now, this is years, by the way. This is going almost 10 years. So I had to get, you a Pan-African, but I had to get the white man to put my AVAT to fix everything, and they've been fixing it within 2 months. So the school may be open next year in February. Now, mind you, this man have gave you so many dates, I can't even keep up. When brother Roland Martin interviewed Dr. Umar back in 2016 or 2017, back then, he said the school was going to open up a year later, and that's been years. Okay? Then Storm Monroe said, hey, I would like to come to the school when you open it up. He said, but you got to donate, because if you don't donate, you can't come, because we only going to allow people that donate. Many people have donated. And then what the failure of Storm Monroe, what he failed at, he did not ask them, how much money did you raise? How much money do you have left? Can you show me proof of the people fixing up the school? None of that. Who are going to be your teachers? Who's going to be on the board? Who's going to be the principal? Because it's one thing to get the building fixed, but it's a whole nother process to get an administration, to get teachers to teach the children. And then I would have asked him if he would have came on the show. How is it, Brother Umar, that it's taking you almost 20 years to get this school off the ground? But it's a brother out of Savannah, Georgia, King Randall. He's a founder of X for Boys, the Life School, preparatory school. He have a school that is open right now that is a private black-owned boarding school. So how can this black man get this school together? He's in his 20s, You are in your 40s, close to your 50s, and you're supposed to be one of the highest paid scholars around the country, and you still ain't got that school out? Where was that question at, Brother Storm? You brought a scammer on your platform that scammed African American people out of money, preying on women that want their sons to be educated by a black institution. But that black man scammed them. Most of them black women that gave to his school, their children are in high school, and some have graduated and went to college. But that should have been the question been brought up, Brother Storm, and you did not bring that question up. You allowed this scammer to scam and not question him about the scam. Then, Brother Dr. Umar switched it and want to talk about LGBT. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say about LGBT, about what school. I don't want to hear nothing about LGBT, about what the kids are teaching, about all lesbian. I don't want to hear nothing about lesbianism, what the schools are teaching. I don't want to hear nothing about that. I'm going to say it again because, Brother Umar, you have lied to the public countless times, and you still ain't got the school open. It is such a dishonor to every African American that believed in you, and you took that trust and scammed hard-working people. So when you get people that really want to do right, people are going to be skeptical because they remember when Dr. Umar scammed them out of money. But my failure is Brother Storm. Here is a man that got a master's degree, that is highly skilled and educated. Allow somebody on his platform just for clicks and views, but fail to ask him questions about where is the money. Fail to ask Dr. Umar questions about his behind in payments and child support. Fail to ask him questions about the taxes he owed on the school. I speak to your shame, Brother Storm, because you allow a scammer on your platform and you did not ask him the questions that the people wanted to know. I don't know, it's because that you on OnlyFans, you want to show your ping, you want to show your body, but you are educated. You got a master's degree. You went to school. You was around white folks. You was in a white fraternity and all of this stuff, but you allowed this black man, Dr. Umar, that have scammed people and scammed them for years, and you did not ask him the tough questions. If you would have asked him the tough questions, I guarantee you, if you would have challenged Dr. Umar, you would have gotten a lot of views off of that interview. And so when I saw that interview, when I was watching that interview, I was greatly disturbed because I'm like, ask him about the money that was raised. And then what made my heart break, Dr. Umar threw under the bus black contractors, but he didn't name the black contractors. If he would have said, yeah, Wiley, I had some black contractors and they scammed me out of money, I would say, sir, name me the black contractors. Give me that information so I can fact check, because you are a known liar. I want to fact check to make sure that it would have been some black contract that scammed you out of some money. And then what Dr. Umar said, well, the white people, they fixed everything within months, and the school is still not out. The school still not out. I speak to your shame, Brother Storm. I'm disappointed in you, brother, because you allow a scammer to lie to your subscribers and you did not challenge him. You supposed to be under the leadership of Tasha K and Kibi Studios. What have you learned from Tasha K and Kibi Studios? Because you did not challenge him, sir. You did not challenge him. And I'm greatly disturbed that you did not challenge him because there's no contractors. Because the school is still not out. And it's so sad. And it's greatly sad. And I would ask him, why do you have events for an empty school? What do you say about those parents that gave money to your school and their children no longer go to your school? What is your answer to those parents? So that's what I think about the interview. That's what I think about the interview. It was really, really sad of him to be so pro-black. And then you want to talk about Shaq and all these black people that's throwing Kyrie and throwing Kanye under the bus, but you threw black contractors under the bus. You didn't name on that year was a black contractors to see. I should have known better to give them the money until the work. But you should hire people, brother, Dr. Umar Johnson, brother. Hire people that know how to hire contractors. You got all of these connections, but yet you acting like you brand new in this. I just don't get it. Because how you keep getting scammed, and brother King Randall from Savannah, Georgia, from the X for Boys Life, the Life Preparatory School, their school is open. It is open. Like, let me show it to y'all right now. Because I don't understand this. Give me a second so y'all don't know who I'm talking about. This young brother, who I am a fan of, and that I've donated to his school. Look at here. Let's see. Let's screen share. Move that down. Here you go. Okay. Look. Okay. Look at the kids. Look at the teacher. Look at the school. It is open. I want to read that caption. Okay. Oh, give me a second. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay. It said it's been over a month. The Life Preparatory School for Boys open, and we've seen so much progress in our students. Our boys who have been overweight are slimming down noticeably, and their parents are loving the changes. We exercise daily. Over 90% of our students have all A's in their academic classes, many of which have never made the honor roll at public schools. We just foster their environment for greatness, and we won't allow anything less. We've been able to watch our boys with ADHD thrive without being on medication, after teachers deemed them too hyper for public schools. The students have done courses in firearm training and will be heading to the range after 2 more classes. They're getting through their beginning phases of their martial art classes and starting to develop more skills. They've been beginning their class to basic repair and maintenance. They're realizing how much easy money there is to be made. The students will begin swimming this month and also preparing for basketball in October. Even with us having to change locations, we're still thriving and making it happen. The boarding school remains free because the people like you who like to share and donate will exclusively people funded, no government backing, no government funding. Thank you so much for the continued support. Donate the xforboys.org/donate. School is out. Okay? The school is out. So they do firearm training, martial arts, and the kids are thriving. The parents have been posting about how they're thriving and how they're doing so much better. Parents are saying, "Oh my gosh, I had problems with them, but they're doing extremely well. Their attitude have changed, their behavior have gotten better, and they have a school out here, brother, in his 20s, got this school out. And here Dr. Umar in his 40s, probably in his 50s, still talking about the black man, the contractors didn't do it right. And the name of the school, if y'all want to donate to the school, I'm going to post it in the chat so y'all know what I'm talking about. Give me a second. I'm going to post it in the chat. theextraboys.org /donate. Okay. And so the name of the school, so y'all know the name of the school, give me a second, is the Life Preparatory School for Boys. Okay. And so that I'd also put it on there if you want to donate to the school, because you actually see with the money. And this is what I liked about King Randall. He showed us where the money was going when he purchased computers, when he purchased beds, when he was getting things fixed, when he was getting things fixed on a roof. He was showing us like items when we were sending stuff on Amazon. He was showing us where the money was going. Everything that we purchased, he was just showing us. And I greatly appreciate that way. And I greatly appreciate that he showed us where the money is going. Unfortunately, with Dr. Umar, he haven't done any of that. He haven't showed you where the money is going. You don't see where your money is going. It's definitely not great. Okay. And these are real receipts. The real guy doing excellent things. Really, really real, a good guy. And he's based out of Savannah, Georgia. So it is good people out there that actually doing great things for students and for children in schools. Everybody ain't out here scamming. It's just Dr. Umar is a scammer. Okay. And this young man don't get government funding. No government funding. He got into it with Roland Martin because this is what he said on the Roland Martin show. He got into it with Roland Martin, and this is what he said on Roland Martin show, because they were talking about voting, and this is what made people donate to this man even more. Give me a second. Okay, this is what he said on the Roland Martin show. Let's listen.
Not my issue to fight. I believe.
So what's your issue to fight?
My issue, I fight for young black men before they die. And that's what I do in my organization. I do teach them to vote, but I don't tell them that voting is going to be the be all end all.
No one says the be all and end all, but it's a part of it.
But you guys promote voting like it's just going to change like the systemic outlook of the black community. That's not where it's at. We have to get out and go do for self in our own communities.
Okay.
Again, voting is not my issue to fight. I believe.
So what's your issue?
So there you go. So I'm blowing it all in my thing. I ain't got my tissue. Okay. So do for self. So the school is out. Is the point that I'm making is the school is out. That's the point that I'm making. Okay. All right. So I'm going to drop the link in here. If y'all want to call in and say something, I could drop the link. Give me a second. I'm going to drop it. Okay. And then let me see something else that's going on. He was something else he posted. Let me see if I can bring it up. Here we go.
What's going on, family? This is King Randall again. So we're back with another project. So I'm at my boyhood home right now. This is where I grew up at, and we have another project. So we tried to keep this under wraps, but we got to fundraise because we got to finish what we're doing for our boys. So this is going to be the Life Preparatory School for Boys' first boarding home. We successfully got it rezoned, so we're ready to get started. Come on. All right, so of course you can see things are being done. We've like added so many rooms in the house. The house is pretty big. When I was growing up, so we've added so many rooms. We've added bathrooms and showers. We've added a whole lot of stuff. Here's a stove that we got donated.
Okay, as you can see that the home of getting, he's showing you like where your money is going, getting it fixed and everything like that. So you see it. So what I'm saying is to people that get discouraged because they're looking at Dr. Umar, listen, Dr. Umar scammed the people, but this young brother did not scam. And he's actually doing great work. And I won't even promote somebody that's out here scamming because it's just still not good. As you can see that, getting the work done. Okay, there you go. All right. And so they have staff, they have a teacher, they have another gentleman that works there. They're doing really, really great. And he already have students that signed up. Like I showed y'all the picture and everything. And they're doing it. And how he started what make his story remarkable is how King Randall started. He started hosting the children in his house, and it just blew up. And he had them over the summer, and the parents were seeing like, oh my gosh, like the kids they're doing wonderful. And this idea was planted that you need to start your own school. And so he started raising money. He started people started donating. He went on Roland Martin's show, and Roland Martin wasn't understanding his vision because Roland Martin was talking about you need the government, you need the vote, and what King Randall was saying, listen, I'm doing for self. And ever since that episode, which happened like a year or two ago, people did interviews with him and they started donating to the school. Like people really started flooding to donate to him. And so he found the building and they in the building and they're getting help. And I'm familiar with the guy that need the help in Savannah for sure. A lot of funding in Savannah, Georgia. So that's what was going on. Okay. Yes. So that's what the point that I'm trying to make. So everybody wasn't scamming. Now you have to make sure the kids are safe at home. Upper girls, yes, and that's you have to. And he's doing really good work. And shout out to the parents that the school they're not receiving government funding. I told you they don't receive government funding. They don't. They don't receive government funding. It's all like from donations. It's all from people that donated to the school. Even Sean King, they donated to the school. So that's the point that I'm saying, and everything like that. And everything is certified. Everything is done right through the process. Everything is done right, and they have a certified teacher that's teaching the students. And make sure y'all follow him on Instagram. Yeah, and I wasn't even planning on, excuse me, showing it on Twitter. I mean, I wasn't even planning on showing that today, but I just had to because it kind of got me with Dr. Umar. So give me a second. If anybody want to call in, y'all can. And also, too, I'm going to share this really quickly. And this is really, really quickly because we got about 10 more minutes. I'm going to speak about Offset for a quick minute because, and this is with Cardi B. And this is what I told y'all with this whole TikTok. It's a lady on TikTok that's lying on Offset, saying that she got pregnant by twins by Offset. Didn't show any evidence, didn't show proof that she was pregnant, didn't show any DNA evidence, nothing. But unfortunately, because of TikTok and because it's a new social media site, people are doing anything to be famous. They're saying anything. Oh, I was pregnant by Offset. I got twins by Offset. And it's unfortunate. This lady is not pregnant. And if she is pregnant, she ain't pregnant by Offset because she's trying to bait Cardi B into a beef so Cardi B can drag her and she can get more followers on TikTok. It's really sad and it's desperate. And it's just, it's pathetic. Really, really pathetic. And it sounds good saying it about Offset because Offset have cheated on her before. So that's what she's doing. That's what this chick is trying to do. She's trying to do this and bring it to TikTok to bait Cardi B in a beef. So Cardi B can argue and the lady can get more TikTok quality. That's my theory. All right. Okay. So, all right. So do we got any callers? Anybody want to hit the link and say something before we go? Okay. I'm gonna post my cell number if anybody want to call on the cell phone, because until we can figure out, I'm gonna switch over to my laptop for the phone lines tomorrow when I do another show. I'm gonna just do that because something with this new computer is not letting the phone lines work. So if this works, so y'all let me know if this number works. Okay. And so the people that ain't getting their text message, we're trying to work on it. So you guys just have to watch replay because I announced it. It's nothing I can do. It's something with their system. I don't know if they're having problems with sending out the text, but we in the process of trying to figure out what's going on. So if you ain't getting your text, you need to follow me on all social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, especially Instagram, because what we do, we go live on Instagram first. We go live on Station Head. And so that's how we've been notifying the people. So if you're not following me on that, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Make sure you got your notifications on. Make sure you're checking our page by the hour to make sure that we're live. And yes, thank you so very much. Oh, no, that ain't Perry. Them just trolls. Because Perry would never say nothing like that. Keep my name out your mouth, Wiley. She have done nothing to you. Perry won't talk to me. He got the balls to talk to me like that. He ain't got the balls to talk to me like that. Somebody said, well, Perry tweet. No, that ain't nothing but a troll. And it could be Sherelle's World doing that. Could be. Hey, you live on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Wiley. I am so glad you called out Umar and Storm on this, because Umar's been making his rounds, but no one is asking him those tough questions, and that's what the people need, because he's such. Okay, so the rumor is he is such a fraud. I haven't donated to him. I don't have hard evidence of the things that they say about him, but they say he doesn't even really take care of his children. So how can you, why aren't his children in any of these events, school events, parades or whatever the heck it is going on over there? Why aren't they ever on his broadcasts with him saying, yes, support my dad? Or why is he never talking about his children? He's always talking about other people's kids. But if people are saying he doesn't take care of his children, why doesn't he address that? And when people do come and ask him hard questions about the money and to ask him for accountability, he blocks them. So what kind of leader is that? He blocks them and calls them haters. Who does that? There's just nothing about him that is credible.
I want to say this because Storm Monroe is highly educated. He got a bachelor's degree, and he's high skilled. And I was flabbergasted that he did not ask Dr. Umar the tough questions. We don't want to know about African spirituality. We don't want to know about who's the guy that he look up to. Oh my God, I can't think of that Dr. Umar, he looks up to this man and he quote him all the time.
Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey.
Like Marcus Garvey, he quote these people all the time, but they wasn't out here scamming. Frederick Douglass wasn't out here scamming, nor was Marcus Garvey out here scamming. And then he talks a good talk, but ask him the tough questions about the school, because that to me is fraud. He did not just announce this school a year ago. We're going almost 10 years.
13, actually. He's been collecting
13 years.
For 13 years. And actually, Marcus Garvey is known to have been scamming people. He was supposed to lead people back to Africa. He never set foot in Africa. So, there's a lot of controversy around him. And I don't want to put anyone down, but a lot of people who are involved on YouTube who are in this kind of Hotep community, which Umar is, they have known to be scammers.
It's something else that I want to say, and I know people ain't gonna like when I say this. Tariq Nasheed. Now he said he wanted to open up. I'm gonna say this, and y'all can talk. He wanted to open up a museum, an African American museum in LA, in South Central LA, I believe. And people almost gave over $1 million. Did y'all hear any updates about that museum?
Yes, I actually heard it was open. Now I don't know that for sure. I heard
I haven't seen that it was open, and he was talking about reparations. And then I was like, how we get to the reparation thing and you didn't even open up the museum yet?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm in the LA area, and I haven't heard of a grand opening.
I haven't either. So it's like with these people, and it's so unfortunate because these are Black people we're talking about. We're not talking about the white man and all of that. And they prey on Black to empower people, right? They prey on that. They speak a good game. But I look at your character when it comes to the money. I look at what did you do with the money? And Dr. Umar, really with him, he speak around this country, and it don't be he's speaking to 1,000 people. It'd be a couple of people he'd be speaking to. But yet you have been going around saying you want to do this school, and still the school have not been out. It's been interviews. He been talking about, well, this is going to be premiere day. And then tonight he announced, Oh, it was because of the black contractors. I couldn't get the school out.
Yes, that part. Okay. Now I watch a YouTuber who has been following his scamming moves for years. Okay, so he has really thrown black people under the bus and say basically black people ain't shit because. But you brought it up. You said it correctly. What who scammed you, Umar? What's the contractor's name that scammed you? Never heard a contractor's name. He actually said, I tried the black folks, now I'm gonna have to go to the Mexicans. You know, and I guess Mr. Jose or whoever must have scammed him also. You mentioned it. If they are scamming you, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be some kind of psychologist. You can't tell when you're being scammed. You know all these people. You don't need any help, but no one can help you find a decent contractor. Nah, bruh. Nah. That's all I wanted to say. You probably have other people on the line,
No,
but
I agree. I agree because I'm like, man, the products still have been out. And Storm interviewed the guy. See, Storm, he did it. I want clicks and views. I want to go viral. But you would have went viral if you would have asked Dr. Umar the tough questions.
right. You should get Dr. Umar on. You should ask him for an interview. Call him up, Wiley, and say, I saw you on Storm Monroe. I'd love to have you on. He will, talk real sweet to him.
Yes.
And when you get him on, then you hit him. Well, you know what? I've got some questions from the audience. Well, can you show us your books? He's never shown the books. As soon as you ask him about the books, he calls you a hater and blocks you.
Wow. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
well, good job. I'm glad you're staying Storm's behind about this. You're doing good.
Thank you so very much.
Mhm.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Anybody else want to say something, ma'am? Know what you're talking about with Marcus Garvey. The government came up with a bogus mail charge, and he was sent to prison. Yeah, they did. They did get him out of the country. Yeah. So, but he always quote Marcus Garvey. And Marcus Garvey done a lot, and I never heard of him. You know what I'm saying? Being a scammer, he have done a lot for Black people. And so when he got, I think the parades. Also, they had people like nurses help the community. It was a lot that Marcus Garvey done, and the government they felt threatened by Marcus Garvey and what he was preaching about. Even Malcolm X's father was a Garveyite, and he was preaching the teachings of Marcus Garvey. And so, and Marcus Garvey was out before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so Elijah Muhammad came after Marcus Garvey. And so a lot of people looked up to Marcus Garvey as well. So he done a lot of good. So I can't confirm or deny and say that he was a scammer. I'm not going to get into that because I don't know. I'm not going to try to get into that point. But what I remember about Marcus Garvey through history, that he done a lot of good for African American people. He done a lot of good. I don't know if he was perfect, but he done a lot of good for African American people. All right. Do we have anybody else that want to say something on the channel? Anybody else? Also, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Wiley Show, WILEYSHOW, at Wiley Show. Okay. All right. Thank y'all. Let me see. Okay. Malcolm X's father was a follower of the Marcus movement. Absolutely, he was. Yes, he was. Absolutely. And Malcolm X's father was killed. Absolutely. So people got to definitely do their research. All right. I wanted to talk to somebody else. Anybody else got something to say? Okay. Did y'all enjoy the interview? Let me read some of y'all comments. Y'all think he's smart just because he can read. Okay. That's what Jazzy Cleaner said. Oh man. All right. Well, we thank y'all so very much for tuning in and giving y'all thoughts. Unfortunately, it's really sad that here yet again the school is still out. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so very much for that. I had a good birthday. I love the fact that you all have donated to us for our birthday. I still haven't checked the P.O. box. So we definitely will be checking out that soon. We thank you about that. Shout out to the people that have supported the show and done it. And it's definitely going back into the show. Thank you. I just want to make sure everybody good. Did we get everybody that wanted to say something? I want to make sure. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. My birthday was on November 11th, but thank you so very much for the happy birthday. Thank you. I don't agree with most of what Dr. Umar said, but he has a point about Black kids getting misdiagnosed with conditions and medication. That could be true. But I'm looking at the scamming because you talk a good game, but you're scamming people. I wouldn't even want to trust him being my psychiatrist, because you're a scammer. And I can't even say allegedly, he's a scammer. I can't even say allegedly. Because if I say allegedly, like, no. I really can't even say the man. I say allegedly. The man is a scammer. And it's so sad. It's so sad. And I feel for the people that have donated and that want better for their children. That's who I feel for. Hello? Good having a Wiley Show.
Hi. Wiley, hey, question. I heard you mention Dr. Umar. How much do you think he scams people for? Do you have an exact number?
I don't have an exact number, but I it's probably over $750,000, if not probably more than that. Probably a million or million or two. I don't know the exact amount, but it's so sad. Whatever the amount is, he scammed the people out their money. I don't care if it was $1.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, like, if you're not sure of the amount, like, why are you making it a statement? Like,
because he scammed the people. Okay, I gotta let you go because you're talking stupid. Lady, please. How you going? If you don't know the amount, how you know he scammed the people? Lady, please. You don't even know. You don't even know about who Dr. Umar is. You don't even know the amount. So how do you know? How do you know he's scammed? Man, he won't show us the receipts of how much he raised. Lady, please. Girl, go with that. Hit the link so we can go live on station on StreamYard. Like, come on now. Well, how do you know? She just want to argue. Hit the link. That's the type of woman that gets scammed out her draws by Dr. Umar. How do you know? Because you don't know the amount. Lady, please. He will scam you out your draws. And you will probably say, how do you know he scammed me out my draws? You got the woman that think a black man can't do no wrong, especially when they say black power. Yes. I didn't give him a $10 donation. I didn't donate because I knew it was a scam. When he was on, what show was he on? He was on Roland Martin. And Roland Martin asked him, when is school gonna come out? And he said it's gonna come out after the Nat Turner anniversary. And that was back in when was that Dr. Umar interview? Give me a second. Hold on. Give me a second. Because I remember I was watching that on TV. And this one I was back in Chicago. So this was back in 2017 when that interview was released. That was back in 2017. And we are in 2022. But he been talking about that school before 2017. So that'll tell you something right there. And then every time you ask him, I'm like, what? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why he's not arrested for fraud. I don't know. I can't speak on that. But I do believe that an investigation should be brought up because it's been years and still no school. And I think Storm only interviewed him for the clicks and views, which I'm not mad at, but must ask him the tough questions. So let me read some of the comments on Storm Monroe's platform of it. Give me a second. Let me read some of those comments. I love Storm how getting these interviews. Give me a second, because I want to see what the people are saying. And I say this humbly. Because he didn't ask him the tough questions. Because there was a comment that I wanted to read. I can't find it. It probably was deleted. So this comment that I want to read, Storm, please, I would like to be invited. Storm said, please, I would like to be invited to the grand opening and support. Dr. Umar said, yes, make sure you donate. See, this is why I don't ask somebody for nothing, including being invited nowhere. They always expecting something. I actually stopped going to birthday parties because ninjas expect you to pay for their lavish dinners for IG pics. That's the part that I was talking about. And so this the comment I want to read. Somebody says, sounds great, but it isn't true. Black women tend to want to settle down before black men. Good interview. Regardless, his comments on black contractors, I heard with my own 2 ears that Dr. Umar didn't want to pay people. One man stated he didn't want to do the work for free, and the offer he gave, Umar rejected. I remember that because I remember Dr. Umar wanting some people to work for free. Now, y'all know doing type of work costs money. Y'all do know black-owned businesses do not have that type of capital to be doing free jobs. You in the business to pay for your workers, you in the business to survive. Then somebody said right here, you have to fact check him though. Several channels I follow had individuals hitting him up over the years about his scams and exit pays. Many of the HVAC and engineers, etc., have come out about Umar not wanting to help, but money and clout. I've been following Umar, but from what I've seen, he's no longer legit. Facts. Never thought he was a legit pandering to black folks. Facts. He doing interviews for $500 or less. He's charging for interviews? Somebody said he has been sued, and there's a recent one coming up very soon in Delaware. The state of Pennsylvania actually sent him a cease and desist letter stating he was in violation of the nonprofit status and thus can't solicit donation legally any longer. But as you can see, he's ignoring this, and we'll probably have another warrant out for him very soon. You gotta call him a scammer who sued for their money. What other warrant did he have? All of this for Umar, but the real scammers are never checked. He charged for interviews. And he still didn't ask him the tough questions. Wow. So I want to read this comment. I didn't know he charged $500. I'll pay for the $500. I want to ask him the tough questions. Pay him $5. Somebody said this, Mrs. Harper. I love you, Mrs. Harper. She said, he's still lying about this school? Respect to you, Storm, but this guy is a Philly hustler through and through. He's been saying this school was going to open since 2010. Somebody somebody else said, oh Lord, I forgot how Dr. Umar takes you on a merry-go-round with his answers. I was exhausted listening to him, but I'm happy for his Storm. Wow. So I'm seeing some comments. Call Leon to get the video. He's going to have fun. A fact. Okay. Okay. So I hear that part. Give me a second. I'm going through these comments because people saying good interview because they're focusing on the good stuff that he's talking about. But I'm talking about the school, the scamming. I'm talking about the scamming. The other stuff, he may be telling the truth about the schools and about LGBT, about all that, but you can have your own. See, this is the thing, Storm. You should have challenged him more. Yeah, you talk about public schools and about LGBT and how they are indoctrinating kids to be transgender kids. But what about your school, sir? You could have been that light. But what do you say to the people that donated and you've been creaming about a school since 2010 and we're in 2022? Like, that may be true of what he's saying about public schools and LGBT and about teaching about LGBT history and all of those type of things, even though we should teach about LGBT history because it was a lot of people in the LGBT movement that were helping in the civil rights movement. People need to do their research on that. Okay, it was an architect. What was his name? Byron Russell. Hope I'm saying his name right. He was one of the architects in the civil rights movement, one of the architects on the March on Washington. So we have to teach LGBT history because people don't understand LGBT history is Black history. Let's be clear on that because it was some gay people that was actually marching in civil rights and actually helping Dr. King. And then a lot of Dr. King in a circle had to apologize to the but I hope I'm saying his name right, Byron Russell. I hope I'm saying his name right. They had to apologize to him because they had to apologize because they were wrong because they really was receiving because of his sexuality. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. But we still talk about this school that was supposed to come out, the Frederick Douglass National Academy or something like that. Even Frederick Douglass' family said Dr. Umar is lying about his history with Frederick Douglass' family. They wrote a letter. So Even they called out Dr. Umar lies. Do y'all remember that? Even they called out his lies. So many people have helped him over the years. And Dana, it's a shame. Pimping black people out their money. He should be called out. When you have somebody who really isn't involved with the black community, but only when it hit the live button, they won't ask the right questions. Why is Storm always talking about LGBT issues and he keeps screaming he ain't LGBT and folks start speculating he get pissed? He said he was a descendant of Frederick Douglass and told him to stop. Y'all better wake up. Anybody else want to call in and say something? Wow. Give me a second. I'm going to drop the link one more time. But how they know he's not related to, listen, that's their point about it. And Dr. Umar was like, no, I want to make sure you're clear. He told Roland Martin, I don't come for the loins of Frederick Douglass. People work too dang hard for their money, and he act like it's not a big deal. Umar should be ashamed. So they wrote a letter, and they questioned that. So there you go. His daddy took a DNA test. Wow, not his daddy. Anybody else want to say something? I would love to get the guy that always talk about Dr. Umar. The man talks about Dr. Umar a lot. The man built an entire channel talking about Dr. Umar. He built an entire channel. I forgot his name. I think it's Leon. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The man built an entire channel talking about Dr. Umar. And he be talking about he's the scholar, the black scholar, Leon. I hope I'm saying his name, Brother Leon. Yeah. Frederick was his cousin's daddy, uncle's brother, grandfather. Leon Honor. Okay. Is he up? Wake him up. All right. Thank y'all so very much. He definitely, I'm going to be here for when he reviewed the video. I'm going to be there right there. When he reviewed the video, I'm going to be right there watching. All right. That's all I have to say about that. Thank y'all so very much. We have 400 people in here. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. It is free to do. We go live every single day on this channel. That's the sound. We go live every single day. So if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We go live every single day. Every single day we are live on this channel. Okay. Thank y'all so very much. I'm sure Storm is watching. It's true. Thank you for covering. Thank you. Somebody said, Lonnie Love. His followers are delusional just like MAGA. And become a member. All members, we're gonna do a members only this week. Also, two members, I will be in Chicago, so we're gonna be doing some members only in Chicago, and definitely gonna be great and fun. So we're gonna do some members only over there. I'm super excited. We're gonna finish up talking about. We're gonna do our last conversation about white fear. I'm almost finished with the book. It's a really, really, really good book. And every time I read it, I'm not shocked. You haven't seen anything yet because we are living in the resistance of Black power, the existence of Black unity, the existence because Black people is making more babies, Hispanic people are making more babies than white folks. So this whole thing about abortion is because they're trying to get their numbers up. It wasn't because Black women are having more abortions. It was because a lot of white women were having an abortion. So y'all got to understand that. And so they want their numbers up because in 2043, we're now going to be a majority minority country. It's going to be the minorities in the majority, and the whites are going to be in a minority. So it's definitely happening. So what did they do? They said, okay, we gotta overtake. We gotta throw out the abortion. We gotta force these white women to have babies because we got to get our numbers up because they fear if they're in a minority, they're going to lose jobs. They're going to lose opportunities. They're going to have to share opportunities with people of color. So that's what's going on. And so me reading this book, White Fear, is definitely really good. I was reading it and I said, oh my gosh, this is making a lot of sense. And I really so it's definitely great. So I was reading it and I said, this is really, really great. Anytime you see somebody trying to take over that Capitol because they wanted Trump to win, because they wanted to protect white power, that's what that comes about. And white folks got to understand, they got to share this world. This world is changing and it's going to continue to change. And you're going to see more Black governors. You're going to be seeing more Black senators. You're going to be seeing more Black congresspersons. You're going to be seeing more Black businesses. You're going to see more Black people in tech. You're going to be seeing more Black people in all type of industry, more Black scientists. It's definitely going to happen. It's not going to be this type of world anymore where you could just get a job just because you're white and you should be connected. Things are changing. You're going to have more Black supervisors, more Black people on board of directors, more Black people in television, more Black people owning networks. And so Black people are definitely coming up in these streets. So that's definitely great. So whatever you want to say. So that's the book we read. We are finally going to be done with that book. And then I got another decision that I'm going to make for the next book. I'm going to make that announcement soon for our next book club pick. But I definitely want to say, so it's definitely going to happen. So you better work out because you got some work to do. Okay, you got some competition. All right. Yes, you got some competition. They have cleaning house with the tech. They cleaning house with the tech job is oversaturated for what they're been paying them. I'm against people teaching young little kids under 17 the LGBT stuff. I would definitely take my kids out of school. You can, but what you want, but leave the kids alone. But that's part of history. What do you mean that you're gonna take your kids out of school? It's a lot of LGBT people. It's a LGBT scientists that kids should know about. I think people just think it's automatically going to be about sex, and I don't think they're going to teach them about sex. They just teaching them about the history. And if they teach your kids about the schools, is KAE, you could put them in Dr. Umar school, right? Or put them in a private school, okay? That's why you better stay on Stacey Abrams' side. I was talking with somebody, they think I have a problem with Stacey Abrams. I don't have a problem with Stacey Abrams. I just felt the reasons why Stacey Abrams lost. I gave my reasons. I don't have an issue with Stacey Abrams. I don't. I just gave my reason of why she lost. And the candidate that won in Arizona, she wasn't overweight. I don't think we really have the last time we had an overweight governor was Governor Christie. Even he was judged about his weight, but he was a man. but I don't really think we have overweight women governors that's black. I don't think we have any black women governors that's overweight. And the reason why they started talking about LGBT in schools is because they were being bullied. Thank you. That's a good point. Black men did vote for Stacey Abrams. It was white women that did not vote for her. White women and a lot of white men didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. I have nothing against Stacey Abrams. If I see her, we can go out for dinner. She have the treat. I don't think the mayor of Chicago is overweight. I don't think she's overweight. She's smaller than Stacey Abrams. Oh, speaking about Chicago, let me see if I can pull up what Jamal Green want to do. You just remind me talking about Chicago. I told him I was going to show this to my audience. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. Okay.
So long and for so many years, our city has been craving adding.
Oh, that's a lot of sound. I would like to play it, but you got all that sound playing. Let me see. Is this better? Okay, because outside it was so much sound. Let me see.
All right, everybody. We have had over a couple 100,000 engagements since we have released the ban the boot policy earlier today. We obviously knew it was going to be a very popular policy, but it's something that needs to be done. So I want to explain it so that I can really give an in-depth answer, and we'll also answer some questions from comments. We are live on Facebook and on Instagram. We want to make sure that you guys really understand what this policy is about. So my team will be monitoring the comments, and we'll get to it real soon. So I want to start with giving you guys some facts. For years, the city has utilized booting and seizing vehicles as a means to make money. And I want to make this clear. This is a regressive tax. Is exactly what this is. This is not something that benefits anyone. This is a funding scheme that the city of Chicago has used for many years to make hundreds of millions of dollars each year. There is no way we should be balancing the budget off of regressive taxes and fees in the city of Chicago. So I want to make that clear because some people already push and say, hey, how are we going to make the money back? And I have a way to make it back, and I'm going to explain that. But I want you to understand the mindset that they put us in. They made us feel like predatory ticketing, booting, stealing people's cars, what we've been doing for many years, issuing 3 million tickets a year is somehow a way we need to just make money. That's not how any city should be doing business. It is not going to be how the city of Chicago does business when I'm mayor come next May. So I want to give you guys some facts. The ticket revenue and the ticket debt that the city of Chicago has is almost $2 billion. So you are taxing people who are poor, who simply can't pay for it, who simply won't pay for it. The majority of that debt, if you're talking about almost $2 billion in debt to the city of Chicago, those people, the majority of that debt is for poor communities in the city of Chicago, and 40% are for Black people. And the most bankruptcies in the country, Chapter 13 bankruptcies in the country, are in Cook County. And guess what most of those bankruptcies are for? Debt owed to the city of Chicago in lieu of tickets. So we have participated in this scheme and as the administrators of the city for 2 years, for so many years, administered.
And I want to say this, I'm playing this because I'm so involved into local politics in Chicago, and I'm watching this race. I'm going to give my first donation next week, and hopefully you all donate to his campaign as well. And Jamal definitely spoke about something that I feel like is so good, is because speaking about the booting cars, putting tickets on people's cars, and people can't afford it, and he's going to go away with that program. And I think that's a very popular program. It's long overdue, because I know a lot of friends that have a lot of tickets in Chicago and they can't afford it, and it's just in debt. They got those them red cameras, the speeding cameras, and just getting people in debt. So I want to play a little bit more of this. I'm really a fan of Jamal Green, and he's have been on the front lines for a long time.
Allow this system to continue and push poor people more into debt, make them poor, immobilize or steal their vehicle, make their lives harder. Think about the effects that this system has had by continuously taking people's vehicles and booting them. How many jobs have been lost? How many people have been incarcerated due to tickets? I want y'all to think about all of the damage that has been done because somebody gets a ticket that may be $30 or $50. Then that ticket doubles. Then that ticket triples. Then you have a fee, a penalty. Then if you get booted, you got another $100 boot fee. Then if you don't take off that boot in 24 hours, now you have a boot fee and an impound fee. And now each day you're incurring an impound fee daily for having your vehicle. So now you have your ticket costs that have doubled and tripled. You have your boot fee, you have your impound fee, and your daily fee until you are able to come up with that money to get on a payment plan or to get your car out of the pound. This is predatory. This is predatory. And this is not pushing any safety measures. This is not making people feel safe. This is not educating or teaching people how to drive correctly. This does nothing but puts money into city pockets and hurts the lives of the poor people in our city. And that's why it must end, and it will end come May. So the plan that we have is on day one, I want to say May 15th. On day one in office, I will issue an executive order to ban the process of booting and seizures of vehicles in this city until we can move forward ordinance through city council. We can have rigorous debates, and our city council members will ultimately have to vote on this measure. But on day one, I'm going to end seizures and booting until we debate this in city council. I will also end the doubling and tripling of tickets. This is not a way to get people to pay tickets by incurring more penalties, by doubling or tripling their tickets. This is not how we should be doing business in the city of Chicago. It's not okay. If they can't pay the ticket amount, what makes you think they can pay a double or triple ticket amount? And then now we're coming to enforce it with booting and seizures. And now they're at a point where they're thousands of dollars in debt. So now they have to figure out what they're going to do. How am I going to pay for this with my low-paying job? Most of these people don't have middle-class jobs to be able to pay for this. So they get folks to come forward and say, hey, just file Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And they make them file bankruptcy, ruining their lives. Now they're not able to purchase property or become a homeowner or live the American dream because now their credit is messed up. We are not as a city, we should not as a city be preying on our residents and making their lives harder. We should be making sure that people have every opportunity to grow and thrive. So another part of the plan will be to add an option for community service for folks who are low income. I think it's important that we're not just all about money in our city. This is not shouldn't be a money-making scheme, which is why we should be issuing fewer tickets and we should be prioritizing the citations that we're actually giving. We shouldn't just be ticketing everything over and over again, very minor violations, just because we think that this is a revenue stream. This is not a revenue stream for the city, and it will not be. And I will tell you what we're going to replace it with here shortly. I also talked about half off of tickets if paid within 10 days. So if you get a ticket in the city of Chicago when I'm mayor, and if you pay, you get to pay half of that ticket if you pay it within 10 days. This will allow us to really, make sure that people are held accountable and give them the opportunity to do it in a way that they don't even have to pay all of their ticket and incur fees. As well, this is the fun part. A part of my forgiveness plan as mayor would be the first 10 days in office, that half off plan will go into effect. So if you have tickets, the first 10 days after I take office, you will be able to pay half of your city debt to take care of all of your debt. We'll also be moving forward a plan to tackle and waive a lot of those fees, from late penalties to boot fees, etc., later on down the line. Because we have $2 billion in debt to the city of Chicago. In no way we should just be continuing to do business in the city, knowing that it's affecting people's lives. We need to come up with a forgiveness plan that makes sense, to take that debt all the way down and make this a city where we are actually educating people. We're actually making sure people can grow and thrive and not preying on people with booting and seizures. We will also do a marketing campaign. We think it's important that people know where our dollars are going. So if we're making $260 million a year, $300 million a year in tickets, you're balancing the budget off of the backs of taxpayers, where those dollars are going. So what we would do is, as we reform the system, all of the dollars that is made from parking tickets and ticket period, we will run an educational campaign to talk about where those dollars are going. What is it funding? We need to make sure that we have a stream to actually make things better in communities, so that people can know that when they do pay their tickets, that they are helping out a good cause. So one of the questions that people have before I open it up is, they say, well, what's the revenue stream that you're going to replace it with? So we propose a luxury tax on vehicles that are sold $75,000 and up. $75,000 and up. Now, in Illinois, the industry brings in $20 billion. There's a piece of that of vehicles that are sold $75,000 and up. We're proposing a 2% tax on those who buy vehicles $75,000 and up in the city of Chicago. That tax, we believe, can make $100 to $200 million per year. And it is pushed on people who can actually pay the extra few $100s when they buy a new car, then having to prey on residents and give out 3 million tickets a year. We have to shift our priorities and make sure that people are being put first in the city. Because how many of you are scared to go to work because you're scared to drive to work because you don't know where you're going to park? You scared to move around the city because because you're on the boot list. You got people literally living in fear of the city, moving out of the city because you got ticket debt. We got to change. We got to change how the direction the city has been moving in, and make this a city where people want to live here, where people want to invest here, where people want to raise their kids here, people want to work here. And this is one of the measures to do so. All right. So that's our plan. And I wanted to really break it down and really get you to understand why this is important. There are many other plans that are coming forward. So I know a lot of other people talked about the parking meter deals and the red light cameras, et cetera. We're going to be releasing more plans in regards to those coming soon. But this is something that's important. for folks around the city, because everybody in the city that drives got a ticket. Everybody in the city that drives have been on a boot list before. And it is insane. And the reason is not because everybody that drives isn't driving correctly or parking correctly. It's because of the predatory ways that the city pushes our workers, our meter maids, to be throughout our city. And we need to change that. Okay? So if we got any questions on Facebook or on Instagram, it's worth answering. I'll let my team let me know. You can put your question in the comments if you got any question about this plan, and we'll answer a couple questions before we go on Facebook and on Instagram.
You had one on Instagram. How are you going to balance the budget? What's the plan? You kind of answered that already.
Yeah.
If you want to go on that.
So I kind of answered that. So listen, let me tell you guys something. The city budget is $28 billion a year across all departments. The mayor controls $16 billion. $16.4 billion a year. This is, they balance the budget hoping to make $260 to $300 million a year off of tickets, fines, and fees. This is a very small piece of the budget. So when you guys, and I'm gonna break this down so you guys can really see how much money we have in the city and where it's going. This is a very small piece of the budget. And let me just tell you something. Lori Lightfoot gave $264 million to police when it came to the federal funding. And we have increased budgets from the police department on down in lieu of $200, $300 million a year. So $300 million a year, I just want to make it clear, this is not a large piece of the budget. And that's why we're saying a luxury tax on vehicles, $75,000 and up, 2% tax on those vehicles can easily fill that gap that we could have for people who don't pay their tickets because they're not booted or tolled. But I think what you have is you have more people who want to pay their tickets. I'm gonna tell you why. Many people decline to pay their tickets because they know their ticket is double, they know their ticket has triple, they know that they got a boot fee, they know they got an impound fee. They know they got all these late fees and penalties. So and when those things happen, when those extra fees happen, people say, "Oh, just forget it," because they ran out of time to come up with that money, and now they have to pay what started out at $100. Now you all the way at $400. Now you all the way at $600. Now you all the way at $1,000 if you're booted or your car's towed. So just want to make that clear as far as the budget goes. Amani?
Yeah, what's your position on residency requirements, city employee residency requirements?
Yeah. I'm not going to address that in this. All questions, please make all questions around the ban the boot policies. I'm not going to address that just yet. That's coming very soon. All right. So I hope everybody is doing well wherever you are. And I hope you guys continue to share this video, share the post, and let folks know that on day one in my administration, we're going to make sure that we ban the boot and ban seizures and chart a new pathway forward for the city of Chicago and create a future that we can all believe in together.
Will the bank that you wanted to create help some of these ideas that you're proposing right now?
Good question. We propose a bank, right? We propose that the city creates its own bank. And this could be another funding mechanism as well. The Bank of Chicago that we propose is where we would invest into home loans, invest into small businesses, invest into affordable housing development, et cetera. And essentially all of the profit that comes back to that Bank of Chicago, because we're not investing our money in the private prisons, we're not investing our money in the fossil fuel industries, we're investing our money back into the people. And so all of the profit that comes back into to that bank is hundreds of millions of dollars of profit that we can put towards something else, whether that be filling gaps like what could be possibly $100 million gap here with this measure, or fund our underfunded schools, pay down our pension crisis, and just make sure that we got another source of revenue to really put in our rainy day fund as well to prepare ourselves for possible pandemics of the future. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let folks know and share this video. I appreciate you guys for supporting. And I want all of you guys to go to our website and donate today. Go to gogreenchicago.com. If you're on Facebook, there's a link right there in front of you. You can click that link and donate on our website. If you're on Instagram, you can go to our website at gogreenchicago.com and click donate right on our website and donate to our movement. We are people powered, people funded. We have volunteers and supporters all across this city pushing our message. And this is how we're going to make sure that our administration caters to the people over corporations and over government officials. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you soon.
All right, so that was that. And the city of Chicago make a lot of money on boots. Some people can't afford it, so they file bankruptcy. So again, I highly suggest people. I am endorsing Jamal Green for mayor of Chicago. He's been putting in the work, boots on the ground. But one of the main challenges is getting him on the ballot. I remember he ran back in 2019, and people did not, he did not get enough signatures for the petition because you have to sign up so many registered voters. And so who was that? Who I want to say? Dr. I can't think of the man name. This older gentleman, he challenged Jamal Green's signatures, and so that he couldn't get on the ballot in 2019. So right now, it's all about ground game, ground game, ground game, ground game. Is getting the petitions, getting him on the ballot. That's one of the challenges, is getting on the ballot. And then another challenge is once you get on the ballot, is to get enough with the ground game to get a good, strong percentage to get on the debate stage. But what's going to happen in order for him to win is ground game, ground game, ground game. Like I said, I'm going to say this publicly. I didn't say it. I'm going to say it publicly now because you're going to see me talk about this more and more on my channel. You must lock down the South Side. If you're from the South Side, you must lock down the South Side. Then you focus on the West Side. Lock down your black-based verse, and then you spread out to other parts. But you lock down the South Side, you lock down the West Side, you go to the East Side, you go to the North Side, and you lock down. And you must have field offices all parts of the city, your North, West, East, and South. And so one of the complaints that someone contacted me, and they wanted to be anonymous, they said he wasn't doing enough on the North Side. So that's why your money and donating to the campaign matters, so he can hire other field workers to go other places. So when it comes to the parking tickets, one of the major complaints in Chicago, a lot of people get tickets and their cars get booted. That's a big problem in the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago been utilizing revenue from ticking for people getting tickets. But who's really getting the tickets? It's poor people that's getting these tickets and they can't afford it. So a lot of poor black and brown people, they've been filing bankruptcy to erase the debt from the city of Chicago. And so what Jamal Green, what he trying to do is, he said, well, let's go around. Let's stop with this booting. Let's stop with the tickets. Let's stop, ticketing the poor. Let's go away with that program. And let's tax people that's getting cars, or $75,000 cars, mostly taxing the wealthy in the city. And definitely that way. And here in Texas, it's a problem. They got the tolls, and they just be tolling the poor. And then how they get poor people to pay the tolls is that you can't renew your car. And then sometimes they have it where they are they will send out a warrant out for your arrest if you don't pay your tolls here in Texas. So like right now, I owe $600 in tolls. So I got to make a payment plan to get my car unlocked in order to get my car renewed, because they won't renew it if you owe tolls. So, that's like a whole thing, but that won't change unless you get leadership, unless you get, a governor and city council to step in and to utilize their power. And that's why you got to have a different governor. And that's why people should run for office. But I'm really looking forward to Jamal Green. I'm really looking forward to Jamal Green campaign. I feel like he's a great candidate. So you make sure y'all donate to his campaign, man. He's a good guy. He's been doing it in Chicago, and a lot of people say, "Oh, he's too young." I mean, young people can run for office in this country. You can run for office. You can run for office. You can run for Congress once you're over the age of 18. You can run for city council. For president, I think the minimum age is 35 for president. I think it's 35, if I'm not mistaken. So don't let people say to you, "Oh, you too young." No, you can do this if you want to run for office. If you at an age where you legally can run, you could run. You don't have to be 65 and 70 years old to run for office. You could be young and run for office. And so when people complain, I always say, run for office. So, yeah. So I think that's be great. We got some big announcements that we're going to be making. And so I'm going to be going to Chicago. And so I need y'all help to get me to Chicago to help with his campaign. So that's why we're putting some of our funding and we're going to go to Chicago and we're going to help, knock on doors and get signatures. And then also, too, I want to take my camera and use my platform to broadcast some of what he's trying to do so people can know what he's doing, because I got a couple of Chicago followers, and that'd be really good because if he win in Chicago, a young progressive candidate, that's going to make people in Detroit or make people in Atlanta or make people in Dallas or make people in Houston or make people in Austin and say, "Oh, maybe I could be a young progressive candidate and run." So if he and Chicago's a major city, and for him to do that, and especially if he do a good job by running that city, that's going to drop a seed for other young progressive Black candidates to run for office in their particular places. So that's just how that goes. Somebody said, "But who's running into Texas? Who's running in Dallas?" There's no there's no race for mayor right now for Dallas. Okay, we gonna talk about Dallas, but my heart and my passion is with this race in Chicago. Okay. Because y'all mayor and y'all mayor is young. And oh gosh, y'all talking about Jedediah. Jedediah is doing okay. He was supposed to run for office, but he's doing a lot. And I'm not gonna try to talk about Jedediah because we're good friends. We talk a lot. And I'm not gonna talk negative about Jedediah. But what I want to say is if he just be focused on one thing, he would be successful at it. He do so much. He try to do so much, and I feel like, and this is no shade to Jedediah, I think he try to do too much, and he get overwhelmed. If he just be focused on one thing and accomplish that, he'll be great. Dallas has a mayor, Eric Johnson. Yes, Eric Johnson. He's a good mayor. I heard some good things about Eric Johnson. He got to work on these potholes in some parts of Dallas. Because when I'm in North Dallas, it don't be that many potholes. Far North Dallas don't be that many potholes. But when I go to like the hood Dallas, it'd be a lot of potholes. So you got to work on that. Yeah. 36 for president. Most of Congress have held those positions since they were in their 20s. Now they're 85 and millionaires. Okay. So yeah, I still want to be notified before you charge me. I don't care if it's $1. That's a full. This is absolutely. And speaking about and I want to be clear, and I want to say this. Got to be careful how I say it. When it came to the tolls, I had my tolls connected to my credit card. When I tell you that, maybe because I was taking a lot of tolls, that my credit card got denied. Like I tried to buy some shoes and it got denied. And I'm like, what's going on? Baby, them tolls, whatever they call them tolls, ate my credit card up. And so I don't even take the tolls now. I don't. Once I pay this $600, I always put in my phone, avoid tolls. I don't even take the tolls anymore. I just take the streets. Like if I got to go somewhere far, I just take the streets. When I have to go get tested in South Dallas, I just take the streets. I don't take highways. I just take the streets. I just take the side streets and get me there. It may take me longer because I'm done with it. Once I pay this $600 in tolls, I'm done with it. Okay? I'm done with it. I don't even take the expressway anymore. And my friend was like, why you don't take the express? No, absolutely not. I can't speak on that. Who placed the bricks in the major cities during the riots? I can't speak on that. Addicted to shoes, true crimes, and the truth. I can't speak on that. I don't know who placed the bricks. I mean, I probably do know that's probably something that we, because that's probably like a conspiracy. We can dive into that on Station Head. I mean, on members only. I heard of Jamal Grant, but maybe I never paid attention to him and hear him no shade. But you're going to hear more of him on my show. And we're trying to get him on the show. And this is the direction we're taking our show, is where we're going to get political. I had a conversation with somebody, and they were real negative. Wiley, I'm tired of you talking about politics. I want to be entertained. And I said, sister, that attitude is going to keep you. I said, that attitude, you go somewhere else, because on my show, we're going to try different things. We're going to talk about entertainment, and we're also going to talk about politics. We're not only going to talk about entertainment, but we're going to talk about politics. And I'm very passionate about, I like politics, right? I like it. I like talking about it. So she was really mad. I don't want to talk about politics. Well, man, fan, you would have a channel. Okay? She was, and we still talk about the mess. We talked about politics at the end. We talked about the mess. Sherelle's world. We talked about the trolls. We talked about the mess. How much mess can we talk about? So, oh man. The mess can get more. We still live in the real world. Absolutely. So let me see. That was Jamal Green. Let me see. Okay, and then he get an endorsement from, and people's like, why he endorsed him? Let me show y'all the endorsement he got. Let me go to it.
Hey y'all, what's up? This your man Mike Epps. I want to vote for your man Jamal Green. I like what Jamal's doing. He's smart, and I think he can really, really help what's going on in that city. Vote for Jamal Green. Jamal, I got your back. I love what you're doing. We need some young, fresh flavor in there. Vote Jamal Green. Chi-Town's finest, and I think he's gonna get the job done.
Okay,
Hey,
that was Mike Epps, and people was like, "Well, Mike Epps, you don't stay in the city." But what I'm saying is, what Mike Epps can do is help Jamal Green on the fundraiser side to get him a more national press, to get people to open up their checkbooks, and hopefully, Mike Epps, wrote a check to Jamal Green, or hopefully Mike Epps. Hopefully you're on the phone saying, hey, man, you need to donate to this candidate. He's really good in Chicago. He's really, really good. So hopefully he's doing that. But I don't see a problem with an outsider outside the city, endorse Jamal Green, because it's bringing awareness. Like me, I don't live in Chicago anymore, but I'm still going to donate because I still have family and friends that live in the city of Chicago. My heart is still in the city of Chicago, and I may move back in the city of Chicago, because I still have a 773 number. Is this Jamal Green?
No, Wiley, this is not Jamal Green.
Go ahead, man.
Wiley.
Yes.
Let me tell you something, Wiley, because I meant to call you last night. The candidates that these celebrities are endorsing Wiley, I'm not voting for not one of them, because I just feel like these are just con artists. And let me tell you about Stacey Abrams while she lost, Wiley. I saw a video of Kerry Washington endorsing Stacey Abrams. And I was like, Kerry Washington, you don't live in Georgia? So that's when I knew. I was like, okay.
But it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with a celebrity because they have fans. You don't have to necessarily live in Georgia to endorse a candidate.
But yes, Wiley, I get that. But at the end of the day, it's like they're trying to sell us on these celebrities. My thing about it is Stacey Abrams should have got in that car, Wiley, and she should have been riding through them neighborhoods.
Well, ma'am, this is where you're wrong. She did do that. Ma'am, sister conservative. But let me tell you, black women and black men voted for her. White women and white men did not vote for her. But black people voted, ma'am, listen, what? But you're saying something that's not true. Stacey Abrams did travel in all the counties in Georgia. Did you know that?
But why the white women don't relate to her? See,
ma'am, maybe because she's not white. Maybe because this is not uncommon. White people sometimes they're a little fickle. Sometimes they be on your side, and sometimes they with their own people. They voted for governor. Hold on 1 second. They voted for Governor Kemp, and it is what it is, and that's definitely what happened. Maybe because she didn't have a plan to address white voters and make them feel comfortable. Who knows? But white women in particularly voted for Governor Kemp. They did not vote for Stacey Abrams. But white women, hold on 1 second. White women did not hardly vote for Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton is a white woman. They mostly voted for Donald Trump.
She was not relatable. It's all about being relatable.
I agree with you on that.
You have to appeal to everybody.
I agree. I agree with you on there. But let's not act like racism. But let's not act like racism don't exist when you're talking about in Georgia. And it was other things that I feel like Stacey Abrams should have worked on. She should have also stand on legalizing marijuana in the state of Georgia, and she should have smoked a blunt. And one part of she should have went to California, shot a commercial, smoked a blunt, and said, "As your next governor, I will legalize marijuana." And I think that would have woke up the base of the millennials and the Gen Z, and also would have woke up the base with a couple of white folks, because white folks love to smoke marijuana.
Yeah, well, Wiley. Well, people love crack too, but I don't expect this woman to go and just to light up a pipe now.
No, I'm talking about marijuana. I'm not talking about a pipe. I'm talking about marijuana. So, but I'm not white, but sister conservative, I really can't speak for white people on why they didn't vote for Stacey Abrams. That's a question you need to ask the white voters in Georgia.
Well, yeah, just like the people in Texas. My thing about it is they vote that governor back in office. And let me tell you something. I just thought that was very foolish to them, because they must have forgot that man left them in the cold last winter.
I agree. I agree with you, but it's something I want to tell you. Texas have been neglected by the National Democratic Party for decades. Because you know why, sister conservative? Because they automatically said Texas is an unwinnable state. It's a red state. And so now what Democrats are doing, like Beto and others, they're playing catch up. But Democrats have gained ground in Texas, because Harris County and some parts of San Antonio is run by Democrats. You got Dallas County that's run by Democrats. They're gaining ground now. And the reason why it's taking them a while for us to win back the governor's mansion is because the Democratic Party, the National Party, the DCCC, and all of those organizations, they have been neglecting Texas for decades. But now a lot of people is waking up and saying, hey, Texas is a winnable state. And so the reason why we have two senators that are Democrats in Georgia is because you got Black Voters Matter, you got Fair Fight, Stacey Abrams organization, you got other organizations. They're now putting boots on the ground and registering people to vote in the state of Georgia, and that's why the state of Georgia is a competitive state now. And if they put more interest in Texas, and like they're doing, put more boots on the ground, I believe Texas can be a blue state. And Texas have not always been red. Let's be clear. Texas used to be run by Democrats. People need to know that Texas have not always been a red state. But what Beto lost by, it wasn't a blowout. And we're getting closer and closer of taking over the governor's mansion in Texas. We're getting closer to that moment. Yeah.
Well, maybe when the winter storm comes and in the dark and maybe they think about it again.
I agree with you on that.
And I was heard you were talking about the low class blacks in Houston, and I do agree, Wiley. I think that they print them instead of them, doing a party. They should have held an election event to get these young people in the ghetto to vote. And Houston is becoming a low-key Chicago, and they might not want to admit it, Wiley, but Houston is now in Chicago. I do not recommend anybody to go to that city when they go visit Texas because it's very dangerous and we should treat it like Chicago.
All right.
And, so yeah, but good night, Wiley.
Good night. Thank you so very much. So I just want to say, like, Democrats got to put more focus in Texas. Like Louisiana is a winnable state, but you must put boots on the ground. Politics is about ground game. You got to have an air game, but it's mostly the backbone of politics is the ground game. Having boots on the ground. State Herschel Walker will lose Georgia if Reverend Warnock have an amazing ground game. Air game is perfect, is good, but air game is getting outdated now. But the ground game is what matters. Knocking on doors, reaching people on social media, reaching people, and then also have for the airways. But you must invest in the ground game. You must invest in Black voters. You must invest in Black organizations that can reach Black media. You must invest in Black radio and Black media as well. So that's how that's going to go. She didn't even live in Texas. She live in Florida. She don't know nothing about Houston. You bought it for Stacey Abrams. Oh, wow. Thank y'all so very much. This was good. Good show today. We talked about politics. Wow, we've been on here for 2 hours. Wow. Florida got the Andrew Gulliver showing this as to people try to rough off. And people think, Andrew Gulliver almost won in Florida. I wish Nat Turner had won in Ohio. But the ground game matters. I'm in the middle of, I'm not impressed by Dems. I haven't been 11 years. Obama only got me one term. Oh, wow. That's what they said in the comments. Thank y'all so very much. I will see y'all later. I got to go, y'all. Y'all kept me up for 2 hours. Well, y'all, was it a good show today? Did y'all have a good show today? Was it a good show today? Was it a good show today? All right. Thank you. It was a good show today. We will have the phone lines back working. I'm going to use my laptop, and we're going to connect my laptop to I'm going to connect my laptop so we could do the phone lines. Okay? So we could do that for tomorrow. Thank y'all so very much. These jobs be talking about free cruise after 1 year. Yeah, right. They trying their best not to give people their bonuses, but you will pay for. Give me the bonus. Skip the cruise. You give me the bonus. I'll go to the cruise of my own choosing. They tried that. Good night, y'all. And I will see y'all in the next episode. Peace.